And it lists.
We're live. All right.
Live.
This is episode 97 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. Once again, we're coming at you live on YouTube for this particular episode. The Cincinnati Bengals are one win away from the Super Bowl, everyone. The Browns, they're still sitting at home, and they're trying to figure out how to get back to the point that they were at last year. Finally, Ben Roethlisberger is officially waving goodbye. Because why, Thomas?
Because Pittsburgh still sucks.
Damn right. And they're going to continue to suck.
Yeah, he does.
All right. You know what? I apologize. I was not prepared for this live stream. I probably should have already had this up. But I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Share screen.
There you go. That screen is sharing all right. Oh yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Play music. Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast. I know there's some drums in there. I can't make the drum sound, but yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't janky at all. Well, we don't do these podcasts live too often. I don't even think I even did that on the last one because we're not used to doing these live. Now, if it works out, if y'all like the format, then maybe we'll keep it going forward. It's just, doing it this way, we don't really have the ability to kind of, edit and present you like, the best possible product that we can. But either way, this time we're testing it out. We're going to try to get around to having some good discussion points. So let's start, Thomas, with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
Quite honestly, because that's the only really one that I even really want to talk about. I mean, we have to talk about the Browns at the end, but they ain't doing anything.
I mean, yeah, we got to touch on. It's called the Battle of Ohio podcast. So unfortunately, we got to talk about them.
I will say we do have. I do have one particular question that I'll ask you when we do get around to the Browns. But I do have one burning question that we will eventually get to. But anyway, the Cincinnati Bengals. They're playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and the big question is, Thomas, can the Cincinnati Bengals remain undefeated in AFC Championships?
They are currently maybe. I am going to keep my prediction. I'm saving my prediction for the end of this podcast. I've been going back and forth with it all day, and I am saving my prediction for the end of this podcast.
Thomas, I've been going back and forth with it all week, but it was a rhetorical question. You don't actually have to answer that. Point is, I just wanted to point out that the Cincinnati Bengals are undefeated in AFC Championships. They've never lost before.
Oh, that's a good fact to know. That might influence my decision.
That is a trend that I would like to continue.
Either for the better or for the worse. Where are my keys at? All right, are you going to ask me what I'm drinking today?
Well, I don't really need to now because you already brought it up. So tell me what you're drinking today, Thomas.
I don't know. Tell me what you're drinking today.
Well, I have to get it out.
Okay, while you doing that, I'm going to tell you what I'm drinking today. Today, I am drinking a Miller High Life. Because, it's a Friday night, y'all. I know some of y'all feeling good. A lot of y'all probably not watching this on a Friday night. But you know what? Look, shout out to y'all who are watching this on Friday night currently on YouTube. Currently, I could put the link on Twitter. So, yeah, shout out to y'all who are logging in. Should I just do it sideways? Nope. If I turn it sideways, I look upside down. So, I'm just going to keep it this way.
All right. I am drinking a New Belgium fat tire, which is...
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's one of my favorite beers. I like the fat tire. But the reason for it is because the Cincinnati Bengals are going to give the Kansas City Chiefs a flat tire this Sunday.
This is really freaking good.
Just like this. I love that fat tire. Amber ale. Love it. Nom, 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 nom. I've never had Miller High Life.
Yeah, but I'm feeling it, though.
Well, if it's good, it's good.
This is my first time having this too, and I'm enjoying this. Well, I'm sorry. It's the first time I ever drink this sober. That's a weird thing to say about alcohol.
That is kind of a weird thing to say.
Okay, so you know how you get like so drunk, like you do stuff and then you don't remember doing it? Like, you know how many people I met in college that I met again outside of college and they're like, yeah, we're the college. Like, we did? And, oh my God, I remember you. Only slightly.
Yeah, I have never had the experience where I drank so much that I don't remember what happened. I've gotten pretty drunk before, Thomas, but I've never gotten so drunk that I don't remember what happened.
See, I feel like you're calling me out here. I never got too drunk that I don't remember what happened.
Well, I just think that I'm not saying I haven't gotten super drunk, Thomas. I'm just saying like that. I think that's the way my brain works.
Okay, I got pretty drunk in my last.
I've gotten pretty fucked up before. Just not I have never gotten to the point where my memory just completely shut off. I hear the stories. It's just, no matter how drunk I get, that never happens to me.
Look, we're live streaming right now. I ain't trying to do two truths and a lie while we're live streaming about whether or not I got too drunk or not.
All right, that's fair. So let's talk about these Cincinnati Bengals then. So it seems like nobody, Thomas, in the entire national landscape. I mean, there's people out there, but nobody, as far as like national media is concerned, wants to give the Cincinnati Bengals any chance to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't know if you remember this, Thomas, but we beat the Chiefs.
I vividly remember that. Yeah, that's how I got knocked us out of the playoffs.
They missed out on the number 1 seed because of us. Now, granted, in fairness, that was in Paul Brown Stadium, and Arrowhead's a pretty tough place to play. I get it. I get all of that. Tennessee was also a pretty tough place to play. I mean, those fans were pretty loud. You could hear it on the broadcast. Regardless, there were a lot of Bengals fans at that Titans game, Thomas.
There were.
And that stadium still got so loud that, there was a lot of confusion with the Bengals and stuff like that. And yet, they overcame it. And I'm not saying Arrowhead is as bad, or I'm not saying Nissan Stadium's as bad as Arrowhead. Obviously, Arrowhead has the reputation for being the loudest place in the entire country that's not partially created because of acoustics like Seattle Stadium. But my point being that, I mean, you're not going to rattle Joe Burrow. You're just not going to do it. So if that's what you're thinking that your crowd's going to do, it's just not going to happen. So why, Thomas, why can the Cincinnati Bengals not beat the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't see why. I mean, I'll save my actual prediction for later. But as far as whether or not they can win, I don't see why they can't.
Well, when you have a quarterback's wife pouring champagne into the crowd full of I was waiting for you to do that. I didn't want to say it, but thank God. Like, I was like, damn, I look so far away. I feel like there's an echo between me and my voice. It's like, hey. Anyway, that's not here or there. When you have a quarterback's wife out here pouring champagne on fans in 20-degree weather, hey, look, bring that back. When you have a quarterback wife pouring champagne on fans in 20-degree weather, look, you're just living a life. So why wouldn't you take the Kansas City Chiefs over the Bengals when players' wives are just doing crazy stuff like that?
Look, the thought process that a lot of people have is they look at the game that we saw last week, right? Which, Thomas, I said on this podcast was the single greatest football game I've ever watched in my life before. I don't remember if I said that on a podcast, but I definitely said that on my YouTube channel.
That was pretty freaking good.
That was the greatest football game I've ever seen in my life between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. But the Cincinnati Bengals are not the Buffalo Bills. You're not going to have the same game against the Bengals that you had against the Bills. That's just not the way that's just not the way that the world works. So to say that the most recent thing that's happened for the Chiefs, that's the reason why the Chiefs are going to win this game. It's like, no, it's not going to happen like that next week. It's probably going to be a bit of a shootout, but the Bengals won a shootout against the Chiefs a couple weeks ago. And, Chiefs, some super salty Chiefs fans want to be like, oh, it was because of the refs, blah, 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 blah. But it's just like, dude, the refs were horrible in general in that game. It's like, I mean, they're complaining about the illegal hands to the face at the end of the game that extended the Bengals drive and allowed them to run the clock out and kick a field goal. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you watch that play, Tyler Boyd has to spin his helmet back so that he can see out of his helmet. Like, you want to tell me there wasn't illegal hands to the face on that play? He literally has to do one of these.
Well, I mean,
go back and watch the replay.
Refs always suck in the NFL. When don't the refs in the NFL not suck? I mean, the refs in the NFL sucked all year.
Yeah. Yeah, they have. There has been...
the refs in the NFL suck all year. All year. Like, when haven't they sucked?
I mean, it seems like ever since that ref lockout, and then like they had the replacement refs, ever since they got back, it's like they were better than the replacement refs. But it just seems like ever since that whole replacement ref thing, that the NFL has just gotten horrible with some of these calls. I don't know.
Yeah, bring back the replacement refs.
The point being that Chiefs fans need to stop being so damn salty about it.
Yeah, bring back the replacement refs.
By the way, the national media and Chiefs fans probably should recognize that the Bengals very well could win this game. And that's going to be a problem for the Chiefs if they overlook the Bengals like, oh, man, we got this game. You know, like Kurt Benkert, the Packers practice squad quarterback, basically admitted that's what the Packers did when they lost to the 49ers in the divisional round last week. He said, well, we were basically planning on, where we were going to go next week and, how we were going to game plan for the NFC Championship and et cetera, et cetera. But you didn't put away the 49ers. And that's the problem the Chiefs are going to have. If they look past this Bengals team, I guarantee you Joe Burrow is going to punch you in the dick.
Joe Burrow is going to punch you in the dick.
Exactly.
We can say that live stream.
By the way, I know this is live stream. I said it because it's live stream.
Punch you in the dick. You hear that live? You're gonna punch in the dick live here on
By the
YouTube.
way, we got one person currently watching. So whoever you are, leave a comment and I'll put you up on the screen here. And
comment and share. We're gonna be going for an hour. Hopefully, we get this going. Get more people watching. I'm gonna be I'm trying to get this thing live on TikTok. I'm in the process of doing that.
That'd be cool if you could figure out how to do that. But
yeah,
right now we're live on YouTube and we're talking about the Bengals. So we'll figure it out to an extent.
Well,
the biggest issue with the Chiefs to me, Thomas, and the reason why I think the Bengals match up well against them, and why I said going into that. Now I believe I picked the Chiefs to win going into that Week 17 game, but I said the Bengals do match up well for a reason, and it's because that Chiefs secondary is straight booty, dude.
I mean, it's funny. I've been saying that. I was talking to one of my friends about that. I was telling him how I believe the Bengals have the advantage over the Chiefs because their weapons are enormously good. How are they going to guard T. Higgins? How are they going to guard Jamar Chase? How are they going to guard CJ Uzomah? How are they going to guard?
They can't. If you recall, Jamar. Right. If you recall, Jamar Chase had 266 yards and 3 touchdowns the last time we played him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a big part of that game. But it wasn't just – everybody remembers Jamar Chase in that game because obviously he had a historic day. But it wasn't just Jamar Chase. T. Higgins had 3 catches for 62 yards on that game.
Yep.
3 catches for 62 yards, Thomas. Tyler Boyd had 4 for 36. But point is, CJ Uzomah had 4 for 32. Point is, what I expect the Chiefs to do going into this game, I expect they're probably going to try to bracket Jamar Chase. They're probably going to try to double, maybe triple him to try to shut him down as much as possible so that he doesn't do what he did against them last time. He doesn't do that again. But the problem is if you do that, you're leaving T. Higgins wide open. T. Higgins would be a number 1 receiver on 75% of teams in the NFL right now.
He's a beast.
You're leaving Tyler Boyd or CJ Uzomah wide open. And when Joe Burrow is throwing CJ Uzomah the ball, he's a top 10 tight end. Now, and I don't know if he's quite that just naturally, but when he's got Joe Burrow throwing him the ball, he is.
Yep. He is. You're talking about somebody. You're talking about an elite receiver next to a very good receiver. I don't question T Higgins. One thing I always compliment, if you watch this podcast, I always compliment T Higgins' ability to run routes. His route running is very precise. Jamar Chase is a very explosive player, and he can explode on you any moment, any given second. And then who on the Chiefs could stop Jamar Chase from exploding?
Nobody. Literally none of them. I believe who is it they had? I know Honey Badger was awful the last time he played that the Bengals played him. Now he had a concussion issues. It sounds like he's probably going to play, but here's the thing: even if he plays, he was god awful against the Bengals. The rest of the Chiefs secondary include. I know Daniel Sorensen's one of them, and he's Chiefs fans will tell you he's terrible. Yeah, he's their backup free safety, but yeah, when Daniel Sorensen's on the field, it's probably a good chance that there's going to be a good play from one of the Bengals receivers there. You got Mike Hughes, Travarius Ward, L'Jarius Sneed. These are guys who can get stuff done, but the thing is, if you got Travarius Ward, like on Jamar Chase all day, Jamar Chase is going to win some of those matchups, and you don't get Travarius Ward doing the thing that he needs to do. Joe Burrow has thrown, one interception in the playoffs, and that was because Samaje Perine completely goofed, and the ball hit off of his hands. And then also, Thomas, if you recall, there's a pretty strong argument out there that was not an interception. The refs ruled it an interception, but, the ball is grazing the ground as he's getting control of the ball. Now I don't know if I would agree that, was it Amani Hooker was the guy who got that interception for the Titans. I don't know if I would agree that Amani Hooker used the ground to steady the ball, to catch the ball, but I will say the ball was touching the ground before Amani Hooker had full control of the ball. And if that is a catch, then why the hell didn't Dez catch it?
I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. I just can't. He's trash.
I'm just saying, Joe Burrow has not really thrown an interception in the playoffs so far. So and the thing is, Patrick Mahomes, as great as he is, he throws up some weird ones sometimes. And it's not every single game, but this Bengals secondary has been hella opportunistic lately. And I would not be shocked to see Patrick Mahomes give the ball up more than once in this game.
One thing that Patrick Mahomes does well, though, we got to recognize this. One thing that Patrick Mahomes does well is that he does a great job of coming back in the game. Patrick Mahomes is never out of a game. He's instant offense. He's always going to find a way to get back in the game. To say if his team starts to lose the league, he will find a way to get the team back in the game.
Yeah, that's why we tried to run. That's why we were so insistent on running the clock out on him at the end of that game in Week 17.
Yeah, because he that man. I still think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I think there's no question about it. I don't think there's a debate. I think Patrick Mahomes is the best. But
after what we saw in the divisional round, yeah, I think you'd be kind of ridiculous to say anybody else.
But the thing is, a close second, or I think is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL is Joe Burrow. And another thing. I
don't know about a close second, but
no, he's not a close second. I think there's a couple other quarterbacks like second behind Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers being one of them. But here's the thing, though, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers.
You know what? I'm going to say something a little controversial here.
Okay.
Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. Joe Burrow is just straight up a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers is clearly a more talented quarterback than Joe Burrow. That's one of Joe Burrow's greatest downsides is the fact that, like, from a talent perspective, he's not the most talented person of all time who played the quarterback position. But, you know, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow does all the little things perfectly, and Aaron Rodgers just doesn't. Aaron Rodgers, like, I don't know. I feel like everybody's blaming the Packers special teams for the result in that game. But my question here, Thomas, why the hell did the Packers only score 10 points? Like, you're telling me the Packers special teams is the only reason why the Green Bay Packers did not win that game. No, I think Aaron Rodgers had a terrible game, and everybody's blaming the special teams so they don't have to blame Aaron Rodgers. Everybody's scared to blame Aaron Rodgers.
I can't believe I just can't believe what you just said. And you said it with so much confidence.
Well, it's true. The way Joe Burrow is playing right now is light years ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is I don't know what my I don't know what my list is as far as best quarterbacks in the NFL is. But the top three are, you know, Patrick Mahomes, obviously number one, and then number two and number three are Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. And I'm not really entirely sure which one's number one, or I mean number two. Probably Josh Allen, but Joe Burrow's right there.
I just can't believe what I just heard. I just can't believe what I just heard.
What's that?
You just said that you think that Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers.
I think he is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. I think his potentially, he could be a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers ever was. But as far as, like, today, you know, what things are like today on January 28th, 2022, Joe Burrow is currently a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers is currently.
I need like 10 more of these. That shit was crazy. By the way, I'm like
definitely sounded like you were enjoying that.
Oh, I was. I'm like 2 seconds from figuring out how to freaking live stream this on TikTok.
Okay.
I've been messing with it for a minute. Hopefully we'll get live stream on TikTok by the time we do the predictions. But my whole thing is, Kyle, is Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. But like we just seen, Jimmy Garoppolo isn't a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. But the 49ers beat the Packers because you do not have to be you do not have to have the better quarterback in the NFL. In fact, in the NFL playoffs, you do not even have to be the better team. You just got to be the better team for 60 minutes. And I think the Bengals could be the better team for 60 minutes than the Chiefs.
Okay, let's rewind for a second. I think the 49ers as a team are extremely underrated. I mean, are we sure the 49ers aren't a better team than the Packers? Maybe the 49ers took a little while to come together, but I think by the time the playoffs happened, I think perhaps the 49ers may have been a better team than the Green Bay Packers. And part of
agree with you,
Thomas, is because, yes, Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. By no stretch of the imagination is he worse. But Aaron Rodgers has regressed. And Aaron Rodgers is not so much better than Jimmy Garoppolo that he can overcome everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Partially because, Jimmy Garoppolo is a very safe quarterback who doesn't really set you back too much.
No, I agree with you. I think that I do agree with you that I think that the 49ers are a better team than the Packers. But I'm using them as an example is because, like you said, there are when you look at this team in Kansas City, there are a lot of holes in this team. And you think, oh yeah, they got Patrick Mahomes. Congratulations, you got Patrick Mahomes. But what else do you have? What else do you have on this team that scares us? Because who on this team really scare you? I'm really trying to figure out who on this team really scare you.
On who? The Chiefs?
Yeah. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill.
What are you talking? Everyone.
On defense, I'm sorry.
On defense.
Who on defense scares you? Okay, Chris Jones, okay? But is that enough to stop Is that enough to stop Joe Burrow from getting Jamar Chase involved? Is that enough to
No.
stop Joe Burrow from getting T. Higgins involved? Is that enough to stop Joe Mixon, who's one of the best running backs in the NFL this year? I must say.
It might be enough to stop Joe Mixon. Because, I mean, the state of the Bengals offensive line, I will say, and I've said this whole time, part of the reason that the Bengals offensive line's stats look a lot worse than they really are is because of Joe Burrow's style of play. But that is not to excuse the offensive line and say that the offensive line is great or anything like that. You know, they definitely have some issues. And Chris Jones matches up. See, this is one matchup where the Chiefs actually match up extremely well, one of their strengths against the Bengals' weakness, because the interior of the Bengals' offensive line is horrible. Chris Jones is probably next to Ndamukong. Not Ndamukong. So what the fuck is wrong with me? Aaron Donald.
Ndamukong. I love that guy. Just
Aaron
going
Donald.
around taking people's
Chris
shoes
Jones
off and throwing
is
at
probably
people.
next to Aaron Donald as the best disrupting defensive tackle in the NFL. So, I mean, you know, matching up against the Bengals defensive line, which is just bad, quite frankly.
Well, see, that's scary.
I don't know if this is going to be a game where Joe Mixon's really going to do a whole lot. But I do think that, you know, Joe Burrow is an expert at manipulating, you know, at manipulating the pocket and kind of getting around and stuff like that. And the Chiefs don't have like 15 or, well, I guess 3 other like pass rushers who are going to get to the quarterback every play like Chris Jones. So the thing is, if Joe Burrow takes responsibility for whatever happens with Chris Jones, all he's got to do is figure out where Chris Jones isn't, go over there, and then find the open guy. Because the Chiefs are also going to blitz a lot like they did against us last time.
So that's scary, man. That's really scary to me. That if you're saying that he's that good, then and you guys have a compromised offensive line, and let's admit that, you know what I mean, like y'all didn't draft Penny Sewell, y'all drafted Jamar Chase, and like nobody saying I'm not saying yeah, thank God, right? But the problem is that, you know, now like you said, you got holes in the offensive line. So how are we going to protect Joe Burrow from somebody, a monster like that? And I mean, you know, the Bengals are 0-2 against the Browns. One of the games they lost were the Browns, when the Browns were fairly helpful when they were trying. And Myles Garrett did his thing against Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow is one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. And now, granted, Joe Burrow done a great job of weathering those sacks, but we cannot forget the fact that he has been getting a lot of pressures and those hits been piling up. So, you know, you're gonna have to outshoot the Chiefs. You're gonna like the Bengals offense got to be top notch. Like they can't miss the beat this week. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. We will see.
I don't think that the Bengals are going to – a lot of people talk about how the Bengals need to score 40 points. The Bengals need to have a perfect game to beat the Chiefs this week. And I don't think that's true. I do think the Bengals are going to have a pretty damn good game to beat the Chiefs. I do think that the Bengals are going to have to, like, you know, take advantage of some opportunities that, you know, every game you got, like, people call it luck. What it really is every game both teams have certain opportunities that are fairly abnormal that they can take advantage of. And typically the team that figures out how to take advantage of those abnormal opportunities is the team that wins the game. And so I think it's going to rely on the Bengals doing stuff like that, which they've been so good at this year, taking advantage of those, you know, opportunities that happen to pop up during games. They've been so good at taking care or taking they've been so good at taking control of those opportunities and doing what needs to be done. And I don't think the Bengals are going to be perfect. I think there's going to be some punts. A lot of people in the Bengals community are talking about, you know, like today, this is, you know, hashtag no punts day. And it's like, I don't agree with that. I think they might need to punt on they could probably have like 3 drives throughout the day where they have to punt. And I still think they could probably win because what's going to come down to, it's going to come down to capitalizing on the opportunities that happen at some point during the game.
So do you think this game is going to be filled with offense?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, you've got two of the most high-powered offenses in the NFL going up against each other. You think it's going to be a defensive game?
Man, it's gonna be cold.
So
It's gonna be cold in the well, it's not gonna be the jungle. We're going down in the jungle.
yeah, it's gonna be in Kansas City. The temperature is gonna be like above. The temperature is gonna be like 35, 40 or something like that. It ain't gonna be that cold.
I don't think it's gonna be cold either. I agree with you.
It's gonna be cold by like I don't know, Houston, Texas standards.
But how cold is it gonna be? What's the weather?
Like I said, it's gonna be like I think I checked it earlier this week and it says something like 35, 40.
That's still cold, but you know, what I mean, like we're in the winter time. We're like implanted in the winter. It's like 5 degrees outside of Cleveland right now, so that's cold.
But that's what I'm saying. They're like 35, 40. That's pretty cold by like, room temperature standards, sure. But as far as like, I think professional NFL players shouldn't have any issue with playing in 35, 40 degree weather. I love working in 35, 40 degree weather, Thomas, because like, that offsets all the physical work you're doing. So your body doesn't heat up, a super shit ton. And it's kind of nice, but it's not so cold that, it's kind of painful outside, like that bone chilling kind of painful cold.
Man, you should see what it feels like on a Cleveland lake.
That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. Like it's not going to be anywhere near that kind of cold.
By the way, what's funny is that that Brown Steelers game when Mason Rudolph got hit it with the helmet. It was really cold that day. I don't think people realize how cold it was that game.
I would imagine so.
Can you imagine getting hit and hit? Can you imagine getting hit and hit with a helmet while it's cold?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like that'd be good at all.
That sounds very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That sounds very uncomfortable.
All right. So we're about half an hour into this thing. Probably go ahead and switch over to the Browns now. Don't got a whole lot to talk about here.
And we shouldn't.
But
we shouldn't.
Well no.
Go Cavs.
There's no real reason to talk too much about the Browns. Couple of little notes though. Sounds like the Browns are in like legitimate danger of losing Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach, to the Bears.
Oh no! Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. That's not good.
Sorry, Thomas. Yeah,
definitely.
That's like one of the big things the Browns have going for them. But the Bears' new head coach, Matt Eberflus. What a
Matt Eberflus.
At Eberflus.
Matt Eberflus. What up, Eberflus?
Eberflus. Matt Eberflus apparently has a good relationship with Bill Callahan and is talking about pulling him away to be the Bears' offensive line coach.
We losing our coach to a guy named Eberflus.
You know what? You know what's funny? The Bears fired Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, like their head coach Matt Nagy and their general manager Ryan Pace, only to bring in a head coach named Matt and a general manager named Ryan. And I'm wondering now, Thomas, if maybe they trade for Matt Ryan.
Well, his name is Eberflus, so they're gonna make such an Eberflus of a move.
That could potentially be a really good thing. I think this is a good hire for Chicago, honestly. It's kind of weird because he's a defensive coach and they just got rid of a defensive coach and they're trying to.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Let me be real with you. I don't mind it because the reason why I don't mind it is because I think the defensive coaches should get more love. I mean, some of the greatest coaches of all time are defensive coaches. I mean, like Bill Belichick is a defensive coach. Like, I won't give more credit to defensive coaches.
Well, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with defensive coaches. I'm just saying they just got rid of a defensive coach. They have a great defense. What they need to develop is their offense.
Yeah, that's true. They do need to develop their offense. I mean, what's his name? Justin Fields needs some help for sure.
So, Thomas, I mentioned to you I have a question.
Okay, I got an answer.
And it is a burning question that I really want to figure out what the hell is going on here. But Browns fans on Twitter are talking about.
Oh yeah.
So Brian Daboll got hired as the New York Giants' new head coach, And Browns fans are trying to act like, oh my God, I'm so happy for a member of the Browns family, Brian Daboll, to go off and get this new opportunity. I wish the best for Brian Daboll. Once a Brown, always a Brown. And I'm like, bro, Brian Daboll was Eric Mangini's offensive coordinator 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 12 years ago, and the Browns had the fourth worst offense in the NFL one of his years, and the other year they had the worst offense in the NFL. So how are you sitting here and telling me that Brian Daboll, this Browns legend? Like, no, y'all fired him 12 years ago. He's restarted his career in a completely different setting, and Browns fans are trying to act like Brian Daboll is a member of the Browns family. Like, shut the fuck up.
Well, once a Brown, always a Brown, dude.
But
once
y'all ran him out of town. Him and Eric Mangini.
No, see, like, we didn't run Eric Mangini out of town. The person who ran Eric Mangini out of town was a guy named Jimmy Haslam.
When did didn't Jimmy Haslam buy the team in 2012?
Yeah, he bought the team and he fired Eric Mangini. That's one of the first things he did. He fired Eric Mangini, and then he hired. And you know who was his grand answer after firing Eric Mangini? Pat Shurmur. Yeah, that's right. Our saver, Pat Shurmur.
Okay, I see what you're talking about now, because I'm seeing here like Eric Mangini coached through 2011, and I'm like, but that was the year before, and you're like, okay, you're right. It would have been 2012 would have been when he got fired, I suppose. But at the same time, part of the reason why Eric Mangini got fired is because, and I remember this, Thomas, Browns fans were bitching so hard about the offense. They were like, this is unsustainable, this is terrible. And I don't remember this specifically, but I feel like I remember people taking pot shots at Brian Daboll a shit ton. And they're like, keep Eric Mangini, get rid of Daboll or some shit like that.
Well, if I remember correctly, I wanted to keep Eric Mangini. I liked Eric Mangini. I thought Eric Mangini was a great was doing his thing, and I was really frustrated that we fired him and then we didn't give Eric Mangini and what's his name? Dare I say it, Colt McCoy a chance. I was really frustrated by the fact we didn't give Colt McCoy a chance.
I sort of felt like that back then. I felt like the Browns were making a mistake, but at the same time, like, y'all did go 5-11 2 years in a row, and that was the only record that Eric Mangini ever had was 5-11. So, I mean, like, I will say there's something to be said about, the Browns need to learn to like be a little bit more patient with people. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to argue with 10-22. I mean, the fact that the Bengals gave Zach Taylor a third year after 6-25-1, that's pretty abnormal. Like, a lot of places were like, Zach Taylor even said, like, this is the only place where I would have gotten a third year.
I mean, I just think that I honestly believe that that Eric Mangini should have got a fair shake of it. I think that the Eric Mangini regime was I thought the Eric Mangini regime could have lasted longer, but they didn't give him a fair shake of things. What I mean by that is I honestly feel like Colt McCoy and Eric Mangini Colt McCoy could have been developed better, and Eric Mangini could have been a really solid coach if they gave him a solid chance, but they never did. So I blame Jimmy Haslam for firing Eric Mangini before he was able to develop as a coach. Because I'm a chronic what's his name? I'm a chronic Jimmy Haslam hater. I hate that dude.
Well, in fairness, Jimmy Haslam has presided over the Browns almost exclusively during their period of being the single worst franchise in all of sports history.
That's what I'm saying. What have you done for me lately? Or
at all?
Shit.
Well, I mean, y'all did have last year. Jimmy Haslam was there for last year.
Yeah, but what?
And he saved the Columbus Crew.
Oh, congratulations! What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah.
Well, like I said, I found it weird. I just found it weird that like Browns fans were getting all sentimental about Brian Daboll, and like they didn't really like Brian Daboll at the time.
Hey man, I'm excited about Brian Daboll. Good job, Brian Daboll. I appreciate you. Once a Brown, always a Brown. Hoorah!
I don't know about that when y'all like basically ran him out of town before. But all right, so let's go ahead and move on. Then we don't need to talk about the Browns too much. Let's talk. So let's do a quick outlook for the state of the AFC North. I don't particularly have anything to talk about with the Ravens. Anything you want to get off your chest about the Ravens, Thomas, other than the fact that
Lamar Jackson, go ahead and have Antonio Brown. I think it'll be hilarious.
Right. Never mind. I forgot that happened since our last episode. That's right. Lamar Jackson tweeted out that so I forget exactly what it was, but it's some sort of support for Antonio Brown joining the Ravens. And first of all, it's not going to happen. Like let's just get that out of the way. Antonio Brown is not joining the Ravens. But man, wouldn't that just be hilarious? I would be all for that. I want Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell and I don't know, some third guy on the Steelers, like from previous Steelers to all join the Ravens and then just watch the fireworks, dude.
Oh, dude, that'd be so fucking funny. Like, how funny would that be if Lamar Jackson joined the Ravens? Like, how funny would that be? Not Lamar Jackson. If Antonio Brown joined the Ravens, I think that'd be like the funniest thing in the world. Like that'd be just like the perfect thing. I think that we're all collectively in the AFC North rooting for that. Like, go ahead, join the Ravens. Go ahead, join the Ravens. Like, that's gonna fix all you. Go ahead, right. Do jumping jacks as you move, as you run off the field. Forget
one person viewing in the one person watching right now. Go ahead and leave us a comment down below, and or in the chat box, and let us know what you think about Antonio Brown not joining the Ravens. But how funny would that be? Let us know what you think about that.
I think it'd be hilarious.
Moving on, Ben Roethlisberger has officially announced that he is retiring. And in addition to that, the Steelers announced that Kevin Colbert is officially retiring after the 2022 NFL draft is concluded. So he's going to get through the draft. He's going to draft some dudes that he has no reason to care about because he's retiring. I'm confused. But Kevin Colbert is stepping down. So that's really confusing. But Ben Roethlisberger's out. Ben Roethlisberger is officially gone. He's definitely not, well, I don't want to say definitely not coming back, but he's at the very least not coming back for the Steelers this year. That is official. And right now, the Steelers' plan at quarterback appears to be Mason Rudolph, and I hope to God that that's true because that would be fucking hilarious. Partially, Thomas, I know you have said that Mason Rudolph isn't as bad of a quarterback as people make it out to be. But first of all, you're wrong. Second of all, some of the people who make Mason Rudolph out to be a terrible quarterback are Steelers fans. So it would be absolutely hilarious if they had to deal with Mason Rudolph being their quarterback. Can you imagine the panic that would set in Pittsburgh if they go into next year with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback?
I mean, I'm with you. A lot of Steelers fan, every single Steelers fan that I know is big on hating Mason Rudolph. I don't know a lot of Steelers fans who really like Mason Rudolph right now. Just like I'm struggling with trying to get this freaking live stream up on freaking TikTok. I should probably stop trying. Like, I'm like at the freaking yard line.
I mean, like, we're only going to be going for another 15 minutes now. So,
but you know what I mean? I could have tried,
I got it, but I mean, there'll be other live streams that we do.
I know.
So, figure it out for next time.
I know.
Trust me, the first time we did live streaming, it took me. I had the same issue you're going through. It was taking me forever to try to figure out how to do a YouTube live stream. And
look, okay. Look, before, because this is a very important podcast. Back then,
we were like recording everything on Zoom too. That was part of our problem.
Yeah, Zoom was horrible. You suck Zoom. But okay, before I go in on rocking on Zoom, come on in Zoom, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. You're watching the Zoom, the Zoom TV show. Let's
from
zoom
PBS.
in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom. Anyway, Mason Rudolph, Mr. I got hit in the head by Myles Garrett. I honestly don't think he's that bad though. Like I think that he's just averagely horrible. But you got to realize these are the Steelers, and the Steelers always find ways to win. Like who would have thought they would make the playoffs this year? And they find some way to do it. So I just think that if Mike Tomlin think that he can find some way to win with Mason Rudolph, he probably can.
I don't think so. I think Mike Tomlin is going to be a little exposed. I still think that he did an incredible job getting the Steelers to the playoffs this year, but at the same time, like it's unsustainable. Like I mean, if they don't go get like a top quality quarterback, they're going to be bad for a little while. I don't know. I'm not saying they're going to be bad for years and years and years. That would be great if they were, but they're at least going to be bad for a little bit.
He'll be bad for a little bit.
They're going to be bad for at least a year or two.
They deserve it, though.
They deserve to be bad for 20 years. I don't care. But what they functionally are going to be bad for a little bit because they're not going to go get, God, who's a quarterback who's great right away? Not too many of them, really. Kyler Murray was pretty good right away. So they're not. There's no Kyler Murray in this upcoming draft. There's no Joe Burrow in this upcoming draft. The Steelers may draft a quarterback and they may be able to develop him into something that's a pretty good quarterback, but it's not going to happen this year. It's probably not going to happen next year. Well, and then with how spoiled Steelers fans have been over the years, with constantly having success over and over and over, and not ever having to ever deal with adversity or anything like that. Are they going to be able to handle having to develop a quarterback for 3 years? Or are they going to be like trying to get him out of there?
Hey, possibly, they gonna they're so spoiled.
They really are.
I freaking hate Pittsburgh. That's funny.
Yeah.
I just love how you racking on Pittsburgh. You spoiled fan base. They deserve it. Yeah, they deserve a Confederate soldier as a quarterback. Yeah,
all right, soldier. Thomas. So, are you ready to go ahead and move on to the predictions?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Because we are tied, right? If I'm not mistaken, we are tied.
We are. Yes, we are. Okay, so as a bit of a recap, the week 1 predictions, you and I both went 5-1, so we did pretty good. I predicted the Eagles to beat the Buccaneers, which was probably not very smart, but I was trying to be the smartest guy in the room, and
well, that's cool. We turned out to
kind of backfire on me. But you predicted the Patriots to beat the Bills, and that went almost as badly. So
that's true. No, I predicted the Patriots to beat the. I did.
So week 1 we both tied at 5-1, and then we had Joe on the podcast, and he went 3-3 that week. And then he had an absolutely awful divisional round on Facebook, but we're not really tracking that on this show. So
why not track it? Shout out to Joe. You sucking right now. Love you, Joe. You sucking right now, Joe.
Right. So the divisional round, you and I tied. We both went 2-2. We got 2 games right, 2 games wrong. So you picked the Chiefs over the Bills. I picked the Bills over the Chiefs, and it almost happened. That was such a good game, Thomas. That was such a good game. Like I said, the best football game I've ever watched in my life was that Chiefs-Bills game in the divisional round of the playoffs.
Well, thank God it did, because now we're tied, because now we're giving predictions very, fun now. It's going to be a little fun.
Well, they're definitely getting tense. I picked the Rams to beat the Buccaneers. You picked you believed in Tom Brady. I even said it on the predictions. I was like, man, I know I'm supposed to believe in Tom Brady. I'm always supposed to never bet against Tom Brady, but I'm doing it this time. And it finally paid off for me.
They almost came back. They almost came all the way back.
Neither of us thought that the Green Bay Packers would beat the 49ers. And that, obviously happened. So we both got that one wrong. And then we both got the Bengals beating the Titans right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I didn't think the Packers will make it to the Super Bowl anyway.
So you and I are both 7-3 for the playoffs, and so now we have 3 games left to predict, 2 of which we will predict right now. So,
Tough.
first game we're going to predict. We're going to start out with the Los Angeles Rams hosting the San Francisco 49ers for the right, Thomas, to potentially host the Super Bowl next week if the Rams win.
This is tough,
This is
man.
being played in SoFi.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is a very tough one. Actually, we're going back and forth on this one. I'm going to go first in this one. You're going to go first in the next one. But I'm going first in this one.
You want me to go first on the next one?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make more sense for me to go second on the next one because it involves the Bengals?
Oh yeah, well, we all know who you're gonna pick. Well, fine. You go first in this one. I'll go second in the
Look,
next
Thomas, I still haven't figured out who I'm picking yet for the Bengals Chiefs.
one. All right, fine. You go first in this one, and I'll go first in the next one.
Okay, good, because that gives me more time to figure out who I'm picking.
All right, come on. Let's do it.
All right, so for Rams 49ers, man, like I don't know, man. Like we all know that record, Kyle Shanahan 6-0 versus Sean McVay.
Wow.
The 49ers got the Rams number for whatever reason, but
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The 49ers swept them this year, and Kyle Shanahan has not lost to Sean McVay and the Rams yet. But I don't know, man. Like Matt Stafford's on a heater lately. The Rams have been playing their best football in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as much as it kind of goes a little bit against conventional wisdom to like not like pick against the hot hand, which in this case would be the 49ers because they're like perpetually like always having the Rams number. In this particular case, I just think the Rams are the better, more talented football team. I really struggle to see a world in which Jimmy Garoppolo is playing in 2 fucking Super Bowls. So I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. Let's call it, I don't know, 35-17. I think they're going to like more or less blow them out. Kyle,
I'm going to 100% absolutely not agree with you, which means that's a double negative, so which means I will agree with you on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to Rams.
All right. So
I don't know how you not picked the Rams on this one. If the 49ers win this game, fine. I take that L, but I just don't see how the 49ers are going to win this game at all.
So what's your score prediction?
I'm going to go 25-20. 35-20. 35-20. 35-20.
35-20. So we both think that the Rams are going to blow the 49ers out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I can get behind that. I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers won this game, despite the fact that I think the Rams are going to blow them out. But part of the reason I say that is because I think that's what the Rams are going to have to blow them out. Like, if the Rams let the 49ers stick around in this game, I think the 49ers might kind of like pull something crazy out of their hats. But if the Rams can come off and have like a good overall game where they just kind of take advantage of the opportunities that they have and just like do what they're supposed to do, I think the Rams are going to come away with the win. And so that's why I'm going to say the Rams win by a pretty decent amount.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you. I think I just don't see it. I just don't see how I just don't see any path for the Rams to win this game. I'm not the Rams, the 49ers to win this game.
All right. So next game then. The AFC Championship between the Cincinnati Bengals traveling. God, it still gives me. I'm still getting goosebumps talking about it, man. The Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Kansas City to play in the AFC Championship. Let's go. What do you think is going to happen, Thomas?
Kyle.
Thomas.
Kyle.
Yes.
I've been going back and forth with this all day. I had this kid at work. And he was like, "Who do you think going to win?" And I was like, "You know what? I honestly do not know. And I told him, like, look, I've been going back and forth with this all day. And you have. Like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to predict it on my podcast. And Kyle,
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, you know what I'm here to tell you?
What's
You know
that?
what I'm here to tell you today? I'm
How
here to
you
tell you
figure it
one
out?
thing. I figured it out, Kyle. And I'm
Okay.
here to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you one thing, Kyle. I'm going to tell you
Mhm.
one and one thing only, Kyle.
Mhm.
The Cincinnati Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals,
Mm-hmm.
the Cincinnati Bengals
Okay.
will not be sitting at home in 2 weeks. They will be
So
going
you
to the
think they're
Super
gonna
Bowl.
win? All right.
I think the Cincinnati Bengals will be going to the Super Bowl. Put me in. I'm drinking the orange and black and whatever Kool-Aid. I think Joe Burrow is the it factor, Cal. The Cincinnati Bengals will be going to the Super Bowl.
All right. So
Oh,
what's the
I'll
score?
get chills thinking about it for you. Give me 33-30 Bengals over Chiefs and a nail biter. Take that, Patrick, my home fiance.
All right. My turn.
Okay, you're right. I'm ready.
Oh man. I still haven't figured it out, man. Okay, so I want to preface all of this. Whatever my final decision is, I want to preface all of it. I do believe that the Cincinnati Bengals are the more complete, better prepared team for this game. Like if this game were played on a neutral ground, I think that the Bengals would. I wouldn't hesitate to pick the Bengals in this game. I think Arrowhead Stadium makes a big fucking difference. I think Patrick Mahomes makes a pretty big difference. And considering that crowd and considering everything that, considering the massive pass rush that the Bengals had to deal with last week and how there's a lot of film out there on how to harass Joe Burrow. I don't entirely know, and I said this on Double Overtime for the Week 17 game, but I don't entirely know how the Chiefs expect to be able to stop all the Bengals' weapons. But at the same time, I don't really know how the Bengals expect to stop all the Chiefs' weapons. They didn't really stop Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce last time. They just happened to, make him run out of time.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is, if you give Patrick Mahomes even 13 seconds at the end of the game, he'll break your heart.
Yeah, apparently.
This is a tough one, man. Just really genuinely, it's like I said, I think the Bengals are the better team objectively, like pound for pound. I think the Bengals are the better, more talented team, but I think the Chiefs have more advantages working their way. So for the right to go to the Super Bowl, I think I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm going to call it, let's say, I'm going to cop out here. I'm going to say 34-33.
Did you just pick against your own team?
Yeah, I've picked against my own team plenty this year.
Kyle.
You know what? You know what, Thomas? If it I'm technically, no matter what happens, I win here, right? So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if the Bengals win, I'll be more than happy to give you the crown.
That's true.
Now that said, that depends on what happens in the Super Bowl. So we both picked Rams 49ers to say.
Well, the worst you can do is tie. If anything happens, the worst you can do is tie.
Right. So I mean, if the Bengals win, I could still tie you. If we both pick the Super Bowl, right? Or no, sorry, if I pick the Super Bowl correctly and you pick it incorrectly. But if the Bengals do lose to the Chiefs, then at least I still have the chance to kick your ass.
Yeah.
But that's not the reason I'm picking this. The reason I'm picking this is because I don't know, man. I've been like, and I know this isn't really the greatest analysis in the world, but every week leading up to the Bengals games this year, I've been playing a couple of matches in Madden to kind of get an idea of how these two teams match up together. And weirdly enough, it's always actually been a pretty good representation of what's really going to happen in the game. And I'm not going to lie, Thomas, I've been getting my ass kicked by the Chiefs in Madden all week. Like they've
It's
been
gonna be
just
tough.
like the thing is the Bengals need to play a perfect game to beat the Chiefs based on the way that things have been going for me in Madden. And I don't know if the Bengals are going to play a perfect game. The Bengals are an imperfect team. They're a very talented team that overcomes a lot of adversity, but they are imperfect. And I think the thing is the Chiefs might play a perfect game. And if the Bengals don't play a perfect game, I don't think that they win.
Okay, I respect it.
But I do think that they're gonna keep it close. I don't think they're gonna get blown out or anything. And I think they use this to attract a lot of like free agents and stuff next year. I think they use this to build on going forward. And I think the future is very bright in Cincinnati. Unfortunately, I think the Bengals will be 2-1 in AFC championships after this instead of a perfect 3-0.
We'll see. To be continued.
Yep. But that's pretty much going to do it for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast, guys. I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope the Bengals win. And I certainly, by the way, think they could. Just because I'm picking the Bengals, it's like, it's like I have to pick one or the other. And so I'm kind of like 55% Chiefs, 45% Bengals on this one, right? I really think the Bengals have a chance. I really, really do think they could win. But if I've got like a gun to my head and I got to pick the right one to not die, then I'm probably picking the Chiefs.
What's funny? Funny about that? It's funny that you say that term because I literally had somebody say to me like, "Look, somebody put a gun to your head. Who you pick?" And I was just like, something about Joe Burrow.
But there's also something about Patrick Mahomes. That's the thing. Like,
I mean, Patrick Mahomes awesome.
But you're right. There is something about Joe Burrow. He's just like, people call it the it factor. People call it moxie. People call it whatever. Joe Burrow does have something about him. And that's why I said that the Bengals very well could win this game and they could go to the Super Bowl. And here's the thing, Thomas, I'm not giving away my pick because I don't know what's going to happen. But if the Bengals beat the Chiefs, going to be pretty hard not to pick for them in the Super Bowl.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
All right. See, man.
Well, we will see, and I am so fucking nervous about this game, dude. I really am. All week I've just been like on edge, like, oh my God, are we gonna do this or are we not gonna do this? Are we gonna go to our third Super Bowl? Are we gonna see the 49ers for a third time in the Super Bowl, Thomas? Except I heard Paul Dana Jr. say this, and I like this, but except this time we have Joe Montana and Jerry Rice.
Oh yeah. Look, man. Look, how about this, Kyle? How about this? How about we make this bet? If the Bengals win this game and they go to the Super Bowl, you got to root for the Cavs.
I got to root for the Cavs? That it doesn't work like that.
Well, no, just become a Cavs fan. Join the Cavs.
I can't get into the NBA.
Dude, the Cavs are America's team, though. The Cavs are America's team.
The Bengals are America's team right now. Look, Thomas, like nothing against you, and not necessarily anything against the Cavs. Although I have, up until recently, I've rooted against the Cavs my entire life. But I mean, nothing against you, but like everything against the NBA. Fuck the NBA, honestly.
I can't do it. Yeah, I can see why you hate the NBA, but still, man. I mean, come on, the Cavs, though, dude. They're awesome.
I hope the Cavs win for your sake, but that's going to be the closest I'm going to get to rooting for them.
I mean, freaking Evan Mobley freaking dunked on Giannis Antetokounmpo yesterday.
That's cool.
You suck.
Go Wildcats. All right, y'all. That's going to do it for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast. Thank you so much for watching. All two of you who showed up for the live stream. Or maybe one. I saw two individual people. It might have been the same person. I'm not sure. But like I said, thank you so much for watching. You can always catch more of what I do at Kyle Phelps92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/The Phelps. My YouTube channel, which is just Kyle Phelps, atbnetwork.com/Cincinnati Bengals, all that good stuff. Catch him, who's over here because pointing is hard. Catch him over here. This lamp right here. Thomas is a lamp. This lamp right here, you can catch him at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram.
Kyle's Nintendo
and
Switch.
The Thomas J Network on TikTok and YouTube.
Wait, hold up. No, you're not Nintendo Switch. No, you're not the Nintendo Switch. You're the you're the closet.
Beat them Bengals. I mean,
yeah, Kyle's the closet.
The Chiefs are going to beat the Bengals, but you know.
Yeah, there's a guy on the radio today. His name is Andy Baskin. He was just like, "Who there?" Like, don't y'all get tired of that? Who there?
Not at all. Not a bit. I've been doing that for 30 years, and I haven't gotten tired of it once.
You know what I've been doing for nearly 30 years besides living, because I haven't lived for 30 years yet?
Well, technically, I haven't lived. I'm still 29, but I'll be 30 in May, so.
I've been breathing.
Okay. Well, see, that's what Who Day is to me. It's basically like breathing.
That's good stuff.
Okay.
That's good stuff.
All right. So, yep, that's it, everybody. I'll leave y'all with, as I said, a Who Day.
Go Browns.